This weekend, we went to Pahrump to their annual balloon festival. It was an all-weekend event, but on Saturday, we already had plans to go to the new LZ and make the new paramotor friends. That left only Sunday. So we got up at 4 a.m. Thank you. And we're on the road by 5:30. Pahrump's about 90 minutes away, and there were only two things that we knew about it. One is that it has a particularly silly name, which opens up a whole bunch of doors to a whole bunch of butt jokes.
I don't know anything about that.
And then it has this thing called poof dirt? I don't know what poof dirt is, but apparently it's poofy. Oh, it is poofy.
We learned about poof dirt from a YouTube video about Pahrump when we were trying to figure out where in Nevada we wanted to live before we moved back to the US from Chile in 2021. The soil in areas of Pahrump is almost like a fine silt, which can shift and sink when exposed to water.
Allegedly, if you build your house on poof dirt, one day your house just goes poof! Gone. Gone. Needless to say, we did not move there. But as you'll see later in the video, this poof dirt thing is a significant enough issue for Pahrump that the residents there are so used to the dust, it almost looks like they're getting used to the world of Interstellar.
Well, when we set the table, we always set the plate upside down. Glasses or cups, whatever it was, upside down.
You think we're kidding? There was also something special about today, something that was the main reason that we wanted to go to the balloon festival in the first place, and that's to help this one overcome a fear that she has.
Tell us how you feel about balloons.
Okay, so you know how some people feel about clowns or spiders? That's how I feel about hot air balloons. I don't know why. It is my absolute biggest fear in life. Even thinking about a hot air balloon, my knees wobble, which makes no sense. I am a private pilot. I've flown a plane. I've done solo PPG flights. I've done skydives. But I think about hot air balloons and I just want to faint. So today I will overcome my fear of hot air balloons.
We have actually been on a tethered balloon ride before when we lived in Poland. There was a balloon in Krakow that was there for a number of years, and it was a really cool way to get a view of the city of Krakow. And that balloon, during a storm front, got destroyed.
See? Completely unsafe. I'm gonna die.
We can hope.
Hey! Here it is. Here's my ride. Looks intimidating, doesn't it? I'm just kidding. That's not my ride. That's my ride.
Are you on YouTube?
I am on YouTube.
Are you on YouTube?
No, I want to be a YouTuber.
You want to be a YouTuber? That's awesome. You should be. Okay, the little 5-year-old boy said that it was really scary.
I said no such thing.
All right, here we go. We are airborne, officially. Oh my god, it's so high! Okay, well, I did it. I went 10 feet off the ground.
Dude, that was the most anticlimactic expenditure of $10 I have ever seen at a fair.
And they didn't even check my ticket. I could have totally gone for free.
That's what we get for being honest. But honestly, how was it?
Honestly, it was actually a lot of fun.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know if I'd be comfortable at like 12,000 feet.
I don't know. They don't go to 12,000 feet. They go to like a few thousand feet. That's it.
At 10 feet, I was okay. I was okay. I can be a 10-foot balloonist. There's some bad news. I heard a rumor that no balloons are going to be flying today because of weather. So we came all this way and paid $10 so that I can
to conquer our fears.
10 feet off the ground.
To conquer our fears. Come on. This is the internet. Spice it up a little bit. We came out here. We conquered our fears.
That's right. Fear nothing. Ride hot air balloons. Hey, I am not a meow.
So we heard a rumor that there's no actual balloon launch happening today. Is that correct?
Unfortunately, yes. So you can see how the balloons are moving here.
Yeah.
We have to have 5 to no more than 8 mile an hour wind.
Okay.
What they do is they release a balloon like this, and if it goes straight up, then the balloons can launch. You see the clouds over there?
Yeah.
They were here.
Oh.
So when they launched the balloon, instead of it going up and saying, yes, we can put the balloons up, it went up and went shoo, and that is bad.
Weather was actually a concern of ours from the very beginning when we were driving out. We saw a big front and massive virga near Pahrump, and we were like, are these balloons gonna fly at all?
If I was a balloonist, I would be genuinely concerned about that. It almost looks like an anvil, but it's like the front edge of a cold front or something. We've seen virga off to the side as well. There can be strong gusts coming out of that. I don't even know. Strong gusts. What else needs to be said? Strong gusts. If I was a balloonist, I'd be like, oh, hell no. But you know what? I'm not a balloonist, and balloonists might look at that and be like, oh, geez, that looks great.
Virga is the name for when rain falls from a cloud but then evaporates before it hits the ground. It's really beautiful to see, but it's actually quite dangerous for aviators. Virga forms from microbursts when winds descend rapidly from clouds, and when the precipitation evaporates, it supercools the air and creates unstable, gusty wind conditions. Branches of aviation that don't play well with high winds or gusty conditions are particularly wary of virga.
Notice, there are no balloons anywhere.
Well, we haven't seen any balloons yet, but it's early. It's not even 7 yet. It's 6:58. See? So, they're given time. 2 minutes.
So with no balloons and deteriorating weather, we decided to head to the foothills and try and capture some of the weather on video.
So we were told, if you want to see cool stuff in Pahrump, just drive out Belle Vista Drive, and then there's like cool properties and stuff. But we drove out Belle Vista Drive, and
Look, there's a cool property right there.
the pavement turned to dirt, and then I see nothing else ahead of us. So I'm wondering if this is a trick. If this is like, tell them new folk to go out to Uncle Jeb's ranch, and he'll put them to work in the basement, like he did with them other people from the city.
Once we reached the highest point that we could get to without a proper off-road vehicle.
Hey, our vehicle's proper.
Well, it's not like an ATV, is what I mean.
Okay, well, we're not going to Pahrump on an ATV.
There was an ATV there, we could have.
What's up now?
Anyway, we first watched the clouds forming over the ridge and couldn't help but feel that they are slightly tinged with evil. Almost like they were born for the sole purpose of destroying the lives of gentle hot air balloons. But then we looked back at Pahrump and saw the real evil. As the wind blew through Pahrump, it created a massive poof dirt storm, sending poof dirt thousands, well, hundreds.
Like all good story, this has some embellishments.
The fish was this big. Okay, hundreds of feet up into the air. I kid you not. It was like a storm in Kansas. We could practically hear someone screaming in the wind.
I'll get you, my pretty, and your little dog, too.
We came back down into Pahrump, and we were met with more and more signs that the weather was only going to get worse, like a wind turbine about to spin off of its hub, tumbleweeds blowing down the street, and literally every flag in the city was whipping horizontally with like crazy patriotic fervor.
I think the wind picked up.
We drove home the back way.
In the back way.
Child. We drove home the back way, passing by Creech Air Force Base, from where they remotely pilot UAVs, and also a mysterious airport called Desert Rock. Its very sparse Wikipedia page says that it's a private airport located on the Nevada test site and owned by the U.S. Department of Energy. It's also the site of the U.S. Army's former base named Camp Desert Rock. Camp Desert Rock was the staging site for the exercises conducted by the U.S. military to test nuclear battlefield tactics between 1951 and 1957. During these exercises, they did atmospheric nuclear explosions and then performed physical analyses of their effects on military personnel and equipment. For the equipment, it was pretty easy to figure out how well it handled blasts. For the personnel, they performed physical and psychological evaluations of the troops, and in later tests, they performed tactical troop maneuvers, aviation exercises, and then evaluations of the blasts on infrastructure and equipment. All of this took place on what used to be called the Nevada Proving Grounds and what's now known as the Nevada Test Site. Between 1951 and 1992, the US conducted more than 100 atmospheric tests and 828 underground nuclear tests. Perhaps the most famous footage is of the homes with their perfect little mannequin families that were destroyed by the shockwave of a nuclear bomb to test what that sort of explosion would do to a town or a city. The remnants of those tests still exist in what's known as the Nevada National Security Site, which sits squarely in an area of restricted airspace named R4808 North.
Restricted means that pilots such as ourselves need permission from the controlling agency before flying through the space. And we need that permission well in advance of making the flight. Now, normally restricted areas have hours of operation, but this is special. It's operated continuously. Any ideas as to why?
To be cool.
Yes. Very cool. Just around the corner from the Nevada National Security Site is the innocuous dry lake bed called Groom Lake. Right next to it is the famous Area 51.
That was my alien sound.
So, as much as we would love to fly over Nevada National Security Site, it's probably not going to happen.
Probably not going to happen. There were two YouTubers a few years ago that were caught on the site
They
with drones.
didn't see the trespassing sign.
Yeah, they had footage of the site. They got arrested. They got fined. They got smacked in the you-know-where. When we arrived home, I pulled up the sectional on SkyVector, and I was surprised to find a huge blue overlay called a SIGMET. SIGMET stands for Significant Meteorological Hazard, and it reported significant turbulence between flight levels 180 and 280 across most of the southwestern United States, including directly above Pahrump. It was caused by wind shear from the jet stream, and this created all sorts of trouble for flights in the area, and other than a very tiny section of Florida, it was literally the only SIGMET active in the continental United States.
Oops. As pilots, we make a decision before every flight that's called go, no-go decision. There may be times where we really want to fly, but weather or other events may increase our risk level and it's no longer safe. So we have to be responsible and say no-go and wait for another time to fly. Had the balloon operators pushed their luck and launched, they would have found themselves in some really shady scenarios and might have put their lives at risk. So no-go was the smart decision on their part, even though it meant that a whole bunch of people drove there for nothing.
That was us. But it was okay.
It was okay because, fortunately, we can always find a way to have fun no matter how the situation plays out. Now, remember the name of the town? Well, it turns out that there's a 5-year-old in all of us.
What is wrong with you?
Pahrump Nugget! Sorry. I'm sorry. Gotta give it.
Hopeless. Completely hopeless.